Hello everyone, this is Lecture 5, Leading and Motivating People. In this lecture, we'll finish half of the course. And please note that the midterm exam will cover from Lecture 1 to this lecture. The lecture will have many series, so without studying this well, you cannot get a good score. Hope you will work on this with high motivation. As you expect, the main topic of Lecture 5 is workers' motivation. The origin of the term is Latin word mot and move. That is the same origin as motor and motive. Based on this origin, Reading defines motivation as forces that move, arouse, and direct people. This means that if you understand motivation well, you can lead people to a certain direction. First, we focus on work motivation, a person's desire to work hard and well. There have been many definitions of work motivation, so I just identify 3 key elements we can find in any definition. Specifically, intensity, direction, and persistence. Some definitions lack persistence, but this is quite important. If a worker's motivation is temporary, it doesn't work well for performance. Here, I want you to remember that there are 2 main approaches for organizational design: human resource and structure. Now we are learning a dimension of human resource approach, motivation. This means that there are many other dimensions of human resource management. May I show this formula to present the relationship between ability and motivation in terms of performance. If ability is 0, even if motivation is 100 or billion, performance will be 0. On one hand, if a person has both ability and motivation, the person's performance dramatically increases. Since this is not addition, this is multiplication. Other factors interact with motivation: training, readers, and co-workers. Each subject is quite popular in human resource approach, but we focus mainly on motivation according to the textbook. I believe that understanding motivation allows you to become a great leader in public organizations, because you can encourage your workers to achieve a shared goal. Since motivation is inside us, we cannot really see whether motivation is created in a person or what creates motivation. Due to such ambiguity, academic researchers have called that unseen force different names, and thus there have been many similar concepts around motivation, such as need, value, motive, incentive. Oftentimes, these concepts and motivation overlap each other, but Rennie provides certain types of classification to distinguish between these concepts and motivation. Specifically, Rennie identifies a need, value, motive as internal impetus that pushes us. In other words, we are pushed by these impetus from inside to satisfy them. I don't really go for the details of each impetus, but you might note that definition of value is different from what we learned in Lecture 4, Organizational Culture. Here, value means a human value rather than organizational value, what a person stands for rather than what an organization stands for. On one hand, Rennie identifies incentive, goal, objective as external impetus that push us. In other words, we are pulled by these impetus from outside to satisfy or achieve them. Some of you might confuse a goal with an objective, but it's quite useful to recognize an objective as a type of short-term goal. In sum, this definition of similar concepts around motivation will definitely help you understand the following series in this lecture. As explained in the textbook, what factor is most influential on motivation is controversial. Especially recent studies argue that incentive and goal are more important than human needs. However, the modern theory of motivation started from identifying human needs. One of the oldest and most influential theory for motivation is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. As you see in this pyramid, without satisfying these basic needs, physical and safety needs, people cannot recognize higher levels of needs, such as esteem and self-actualization, as important. This theory suggests that managers should understand which level of needs your workers wish to satisfy, and further, they should have different strategies for each work group to create motivation. Another influential theory for work motivation is McGregor's theory X and Y. Based on Maslow's need hierarchy, he identified the two main streams of management assumption. First, theory X assumes that employees were basically lazy and passive, and thus managers should closely direct, control, and motivate employees. In other words, these managers of theory X believe that most employees pursue lower levels of needs in Maslow's hierarchy, such as physical and safety needs, and thus they are not interested in higher levels of needs such as esteem and self-actualization. On one hand, theory Y assumes that employees are fully capable of self-direction and motivation. McGregor identified theory X as a classical approach where workers' ability and motivation are not fully utilized, and he further challenged Maslow's need hierarchy by insisting that the nature of human needs are at higher levels, such as esteem or self-actualization. According to theory Y, managers will allow more workers' participation and self-control. This is the end of this video for Lecture 5. In the next video, we'll cover more recent theories of motivation. See you there.